It is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Jackson Williams. In the NBA, the NBA draft starts tonight as some of the top amateur stars from across the globe, including Duke forward Cooper Flagg and Tennessee guard Chaz Lanier, will find out their NBA futures today and tomorrow. The draft starts tonight at 7 p.m. In college basketball news, the NCAA announced earlier today that the regular season will expand to a 32-game limit. The previous limit was 31 games, and that will begin for the 2026-2027 season. In the MLB, VFL Christian Moore accounted for all three of the Los Angeles Angels runs in their 3-2 win in extra innings with a solo home run in the eighth and this walk-off winner in extras.
It's an out to right center field, pretty deep. Rafael is back. It's over his head. It's off the wall. It might be a home run. Moore's racing on his way to third. The game is tied at least as Moore has a triple, and I think he's won it. Saving it to the Red Sox. It's a home run.
For our foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. Blaine, a lot is going down. So more information continues to come up about this NFLPA, NFL collusion case and all this kind of stuff. More people are starting to talk about it. I noticed that ESPN finally got around to it around 8 p.m. last night. I mean, like, they're waiting till the dead time. Was it? Like 8 p.m. or something. It was like dead period time. Like, nobody's really watching ESPN right now. We'll finally, talk about it. It's an interesting case. Gets more interesting the more you hear more people's opinions. You hear now the players are starting to have some reactions trickle in, and how that may change the game. So it's a real interesting thing. I guess where I don't want to, because we spent a lot of time yesterday breaking down the ins and the outs. I printed out the 61-page document, highlighted all the important parts. I read it fully myself, but highlighted the important parts. But today, with Pro Football Talk brings up this point that I didn't really think about. So yesterday, when we're talking about this, we know that it was the NFLPA chose to highlight 3 quarterback situations: the Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, and Lamar Jackson. Try to use those as examples of collusion. I first want to say this: even if that March 2022 meeting hadn't happened, none of those quarterbacks are getting a fully guaranteed contract, because the NFL owners, regardless of what a 20-minute PowerPoint presentation told them, none of these real owners were going to do a long-term, at least, fully guaranteed contract. So I don't really think that meeting really changed anything for them.
Why do you say that?
Because they were all, even before that meeting, everybody was so perplexed and baffled and didn't like it. Well, that's the Browns' business, but that's not the business that we're getting into. Even before that meeting happened, Steve Bisciotti, the Ravens owner, had this quote. It was like a 2-part quote saying that essentially, like, that's their business, but that's insane. That's crazy to do. And that was even before they had that meeting. So I don't think that, because we saw it with Kirk Cousins, right? And then it took so long for another fully guaranteed contract to come through. Mm-hmm. I don't think any of these owners, I think for the most part, logically, business-wise, it doesn't make any sense for any of these owners to do a fully guaranteed contract for a bunch of reasons. But I don't think any of these players were going to do a long-term fully guaranteed contract.
No, I would agree with that. But there's always a but. There's always a first time. And then guess what? That was the second time.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's 2 guys. So then eventually it was going to be 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
However you want to look at it. So they can say that they wouldn't have until they got into the position.
They're not saying they wouldn't have. But I mean, I'm just saying they wouldn't have.
But it's easy to say that. I'm sure Pro Football Talk said the same thing. But at the same time, how do you get things to change? Has to slowly start happening. Now, this could be a slow roll because we hadn't seen it since, right? Since the Watson, but guys have gotten half guarantees.
Yeah,
you know,
has guaranteed, but not fully guaranteed.
Right. So it's starting to happen, and it's something where you got to overcome a big hurdle. I don't know if it will ever. I remember I said I don't think in my lifetime that it was ever going to happen, unless it was probably a quarterback. Naturally, that happened. So I'm interested to see over the years because the NFL is going to have to hold this in owners until they get what they want. And if they can't get what they want, they're going to have to relinquish. And what they want is 20 games.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep going back to that. And we're going to go to 18 and then 20. And guess what? The roster's going to have to increase and guarantees are going to increase.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that they would be more willing to do lifetime health benefits before they would do fully guaranteed contracts?
It's kind of interesting, but a lot of people don't know. I think you only get like 8 years of life insurance after you're done as a player. And you have to be a vetted player, too. Vetted means you have to at least be 3 years in the league or not. And then that kind of changes if you're not at 3. So that'll be interesting because to me, it should already be there.
Yeah, I'm with you on
my
that
mind.
one.
That should already be there, especially if you know, a vetted player and
for sure.
all the issues that a lot of players have. So especially as they get older. So and for me, that ain't part of the negotiation. But it is there and it's not done.
Because that is a kind of that's the other thing of this whole
when
shoot.
I was a player, I would bring this up and people would think I was nuts. And we talking about a long time ago.
I know, but I'm laughing because that's crazy. This seems like such a common sense thing.
I was like, and they were like that. I mean, it was like, okay, then well, then I there's no need for me even to be here. Like that's how the take I took because I thought we should get full insurance or everything because what made me think about that, we had a baby, right? Mm-hmm. That was all fully guaranteed. I was like, oh, I need this for life. I need this for life because there was a whole bunch of issues involved with that being a preemie and at 20 weeks, and then there was a whole nother layer of things I had no idea about.
Right,
and I go, well, dang, we didn't have to pay anything,
and you never know what future health complications can happen,
let alone to myself, but you know, my wife and kids. So that's what really pawned the thought, to be honest. And I'd like, and then it made me say, dang, we only get it for 8 years after we're done.
I wonder if most fans even realize that because that has been talked about since this thing has come out. That has been kind of like the other thing.
Well, I don't think fans, to be honest,
they may not care.
I don't think they really do.
Yeah.
To be honest, they're in there for the enjoyment of the game, and you know they could probably care less. I mean, they know what everybody's making, so then their expectations of different players or where you go in the draft. But other than that, I don't know if they really pay attention. Some you know. Rampant fans probably do, but most thinking about insurance and those things like that, probably not.
Yeah. I just wondered if from the NFL perspective for the owners that they're like getting that 20 games, right? So they got kind of like two things they're holding back on right now. It's the lifetime health benefits or maybe even just increasing the health benefits to make the...
And I have to give the NFL credit. They have increased over time.
Right.
I mean, I'm still getting stuff in there. They're increasing, doing different things. So I have to give them credit for that. I just think it's a slow roll here to where they're trying to get to. So then I think about the negotiations or what you're trying to do is get guaranteed contracts. And it'll be a slow roll there.
See, and I wonder when 2030 comes around, maybe they're like, okay, well, we won't give you the fully guaranteed. I don't know what's, to be honest, objectively, which is cheaper for the NFL teams and NFL business.
Oh, I don't need
but I wonder if it's like, okay, we can't give you fully guaranteed contracts, but we can give you lifetime health benefits. And if that's enough to sweeten the pot for, the 20 games. That's kind of what I wonder is going to happen in negotiation if they use that bullet instead of the fully guaranteed
I don't
bullet.
know how much it is, but there's only so many NFL players to then guaranteed contracts. So let's say then it snowballs and it becomes more superstar players, not just quarterbacks. And then how much that impacts, I don't know. I have no idea.
It's just something to think about. I mean, we're still ways away, but that is something to think about. It
definitely is.
But apparently what wasn't thought about, and I didn't even think about this yesterday, but they obviously, the NFLPA focused in on 3 quarterbacks, but they put in 594 other players as part of this suit. But they only focused on the 3 quarterbacks. So they only got the text evidence and all the evidence surrounding these 3 quarterbacks and negotiations and everything all came for these guys. these other 594 players who didn't even know this was going on, Blaine, they can't come back to the NFL and try to do something because they were included in this lawsuit. Their instances of signing a contract or negotiation were included in this. We don't know who those 594 players are right now, but so keeping this in the dark because Justin Herbert signed, right? What if there were text messages and smoking guns in the Justin Herbert negotiation that could have helped with this collusion? Instead, they only focused on 3 quarterbacks, and they failed epically to prove that there was any kind of collusion on those 3 quarterbacks. And now they've kind of screwed these other 594 players out of being able to go back and enter in this case and try to get some money. Like, isn't that that's kind of crazy to me? I didn't even think about it like that.
No, it's not as crazy for me, but to me, I just blame the lawyer.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So I'd love to know who the lawyer is.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that. I guess it wouldn't be Lloyd Howe because I don't think he has a law degree, but I don't know what the negotiation. But it's that, to me, again, the NFLPA fumbles the bag. A lack of common sense.
And sometimes you feel like, hey, man, did you fumble on purpose?
I mean, it's kind of
you rigging the game?
Yeah. Well, it goes to me.
I always felt like, wait a minute now. How long has this person been a lawyer? I mean, this is like one-on-one. Now, this should always be open where you can come back to it. If not, then you pull all 594 players. That's what you do.
So, so basically what the league and what the CBA and what the ruling for the arbitration actually says that these 594 other veteran players for whom damages were sought for in this case cannot come back. So the issue for those 594 players and these 3 quarterbacks has been decided and concluded. So these 594 players who just found out, by the way, that they were even included.
I'm not shocked by that. I know you are. I'm not.
But I mean, like, it's just going back to what you just said about, you tried to tell everybody for lifetime health benefits and try to get this done. And they looked at you like you had antlers growing out of your head.
They act like
where's the common sense?
You know what guys are thinking about at the time, man? And I'm sure it's different now. Oh, man, the rep is getting a free trips to go all these different places.
Yeah.
Really? Is this what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, man, come on, man. Let's get out of here, man.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's insane. All right. When we come back,
Jackson
I just
would have been happy.
Yeah. I just had to share that because
went to Hawaii.
Because that's pretty big.
Went to Kona Island.
Because, like, if Herbert's name is on the list, he can't come back and try to do anything. Like, new evidence, it's concluded, right? According to the CBA and how this all goes, this thing's concluded. So it'd have to be players outside of this list to try to get it done again.
And it's a little exaggerating. You say 594 players or whatever the number is, but probably 1% of those guys would have gotten guaranteed contracts. I mean, let's be realistic now. And we're only talking about quarterbacks and superstar guys, players, some big time pass rusher, somebody like that. So maybe, I don't know, 50 guys. I have no idea.
Yeah, maybe be less than that. But still, I mean, if you're trying to present a case of collusion, I want all the evidence and all the smoking guns.
That's all I wanted.
And this, remember, they started with just the 3 quarterbacks, and then they changed it and made an appeal to enter in these other 594. So they really, it just doesn't make sense why you wouldn't go ahead and get information from some of these other higher, bigger name negotiations, try to prove it, unless they knew that there wasn't any evidence or information that would help. Like, this was maybe the best case. I don't know. But it is very interesting. The more that comes out, the more interesting I think it will become to people, because it's a fumbling of the bag of epic proportions.
I just feel like it's really weird as revisionist history. They keep repeating the same things.
Same mistakes over and over. I'm sure the 2030 CBA negotiations will be the same thing. Same mistakes. They'll trumpet stuff around like they think they won, but they never really won, because the NFL owners are always going to get what they want. There you go. That's just how it is. That's just how it's going to be. When we come back, Easton Freeze wrote an article detailing the backup quarterback situation for the Tennessee Titans, but he says the backup quarterback situation for the 2025 Titans is overrated, and you do not need a good backup quarterback. I want to get your thoughts on his reasonings why, and we'll give you our thoughts if we agree or not. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. Easton Freeze wrote an article, and we've had this discussion, me and him, in a text chat, because I totally disagree with his premise here. But over at A2ZSports.com, it's talking about the backup quarterback situation. Now, we do agree that Tennessee Titans are only going to keep 2, but he says backup quarterback is perhaps the most underrated position on good teams and the most overrated on bad ones. In the case of the Titans being a rebuilding team, that lumps you into the bad category. If you're a team in search of a championship or even just a playoff berth, to deem your season a success, having a backup who can keep the ship from taking on too much water if and when your quarterback goes down is crucial. If your backup can't hang, even a month of having to lean on them could completely sink a great season. But when you're a team on a multi-year rebuild plan where everything right now is staked on Cam Ward's development and eventual success, what good does a competent backup do you? If, God forbid, Ward were to go down in 2025, the Titans would be best served as a franchise to take a page out of the Bengals playbook in Joe Burrow's rookie year, lose hard. He goes, you don't want to stunt the development of the other players on the team, and the coaching staff may very well worry for their jobs, but that's all a mark of franchise dysfunction more than it is a good reason not to do the optimal thing and look to the future. This is also why, by the way, there's absolutely zero reason for the Titans to keep a third quarterback. That's the only thing I agree with them on, because I think having a competent, quality backup matters in the NFL for a myriad of different reasons, outside of the win or loss record, for any team. And it has been proven over time, in this thing of just throwing in the towel and just saying, well, screw it for the rest of the 52 players on the team. You know, our backup quarterback went down, so we're just going to lose, and we're just going to lose hard, is kind of ridiculous to me.
Well, to be honest, I do get his premise in the logical world of other than sports where human people are involved. I think he's absolutely wrong on that. And that is, I wrote down some notes. First of all, when you have a good team, naturally all the things, it keeps everything together. So that's pretty easy there. But when you're on a bad team, you're staying very competitive. You're building for the future. So you get to see what the other players actually can do. You want to stay alive. You don't want to keep things from sinking and snowballing. And you want to see player development, evaluating the talent, as well as keeping the locker room in a positive spirit that they can actually still win. And you got to believe that. Once that leaves the locker room and you feel like you don't have a good quarterback that can lead us at least to win in the game, you don't have to have a great quarterback. Right. You don't have a great quarterback to even win a Super Bowl. Depends on the weapons around the team, or it's a good defensive team. Let's ask Trent Dilfer about that. Yeah. Right? So I just think
poor Trent Dilfer, he's the poster child of that.
I mean, you got Brad Johnson there with Tampa Bay.
But it's just funny. That's all.
What was the guy for the Eagles? Nick Foles.
Yeah. But at least you got a Super Bowl ring, even if that's what you're known for. At least you got the Super Bowl ring.
I get his premise though. Yeah. But you have a lot to live for. And the reason why the human element part of playing sports is every individual is actually on a one-year deal outside of the quarterback. Mm-hmm. I think that's what the realization most players are. So you're playing for not only to keep your job, to keep your contract going into the next year, but you're also being evaluated by all the other teams in case you do get cut. Just because of salary cap reason, not because you're still not a good player. So you're always trying to play at your best. So everybody's always motivated. And so you want to try to keep that going in a locker room because you got to have a competent quarterback that can at least, get you to some wins, or don't turn the ball over, at least give you a shot if you don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, to me, it's like it's already hard enough on a locker room when you lose your quarterback. Yeah. And then you bring in a quarterback. And again, no slight to these guys that are on the roster, but then you bring in Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle. You're looking around the locker room probably thinking, I mean, like, we're going to have to win this together, right? Like, we're going to have to pull together and win in spite of them and try to carry them. But at some point, especially if it's a long-term injury, how long can a group of people actually hold up that mentality before it just actually wears on them and you kind of come to like a stark realization that, man, we're kind of sunk?
Yeah, and that is the worst feeling alive now. I'm telling you, as an athlete, pro athlete, that's tough there, especially in the NFL. So Yeah, that'd be interesting to see if Will Levis plays well, they trade him, and then they live with the two guys that they have as their backups.
Yeah.
That will be really interesting. Everybody will get to see that they probably don't give him the best shot of even trying to stay in games, let alone winning some games.
Well, I mean, to be honest, the 2020 Cincinnati Bengals backup that he referenced was Brandon Allen. That was the guy that came in, and he went 1-4 as a starter. I mean, like, is that really? I mean, can Brian Callahan survive? Because Brandon Allen is what we assume at least, his handpicked backup quarterback.
No, there's ties to the relationship.
Yeah.
You always find in relationships
Right.
and ties that obviously, he had a lot of input
we assume,
on it. Right.
but like,
he had
I
a lot of
mean,
input. I would have
right.
to say that. There's no
Right.
doubt about that.
And I think it's a safe assumption, by the way. But like, that's his guy. Well, okay, let's talk the 2020 Bengals. They had Joe Burrow. And this is a similar situation, right? Joe Burrow was drafted number 1 overall. You have Zach Taylor as his second year as head coach, gets Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow starts off 2-7-1, goes down with injury, but shows some promise. 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, looked pretty good. Just the team around him wasn't that great. Here comes Brandon Allen. They go 1-4 with Brandon Allen. Then they win one game with Ryan Finley as a starter. You end up with a 4-11-1 record. I know that we're trying to say that Brian Callahan, maybe he's not on the hot seat as much as we thought, but 4-11-1, even if Cam Ward goes down, I don't know if that saves his job. And if Cam Ward is going down with injury is going to be a big enough excuse if they don't crank out some and win some games. And that's why I kind of think that also, and I get that he says it's part of, a dysfunctional franchise, but you're not just giving yourself as a coaching staff the best chance to win. You're giving the players in the locker room the best chance to win. And don't you always want to operate a team with the premise of, I want to make sure that no matter what happens to any of our starters, we still have the best chance to win? It's not possible and feasible in all aspects, but that's how you should be approaching it.
Mm-hmm. Now, just imagine this now. If they do trade Levis, and say that happens, that means if Cam Ward goes down, they think they can win with those guys, Brandon Allen. I mean, head coach Callahan believes that they can win with them.
Yeah.
With this roster.
By the way, that's what he is telling you, right? That's what him and Mike Bergonzi are all telling you.
Absolutely, that's what they're telling you.
They're telling
their actions tell you what they're thinking.
Yeah. They're telling you that they can still win games if, God forbid, like Easton said, Cam Ward goes down with injury, they could do it. But also, I do go back to the Malik Willis thing last year. Malik Willis won both of his starts for Green Bay, and I worry that they repeat the same mistake, and Brandon Allen is just a worse version of Mason Rudolph, whereas Will Levis, maybe he, in another year of the system, can actually be a viable backup. And that's been my thing, is I think that Will Levis by far is the best backup.
Well, he's the best option for sure.
Best option.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So I'd rather live with him than Allen if I had to go that route. And, but he may outplay it. And they may make that mistake, because they can get some valuable commodity. If somebody offers a 3rd round pick, I think they take it. Oh, yeah,
you got to take it. I mean, I wouldn't blame him at that point.
So they may be in a position where they had no choice. And then what do?
Right.
I mean,
I'd be definitely going the waiver wire, because I know you could probably find someone better on the waiver wire.
That knows the system? I mean, we're talking about late in the game now.
Oh, man, maybe. I mean, some of these systems overlap a lot. It just depends. And it also depends on
concepts do, but knowing the terminology and all that.
It also depends on the I guess the veteran level of them too. Like Josh Dobbs could probably, not saying Josh Dobbs will get cut, but let's say Josh Dobbs gets cut. A veteran like that could probably pick up your system fairly quickly.
Would you pick up Joe Flacco if he got released?
Oh, heck yeah. In a heartbeat.
Kenny Pickett.
They should have paid him. They should have already paid him and brought him in.
Oh, no. But Kenny Pickett?
Yeah. I think I would. I think I would.
Over the two that we had.
Yeah. I think I would take that risk over the two that you got. Because I also, to me, it's just like, okay, and I hate that we're talking about injury and all this stuff, but let's say that it happens to Cam Ward and he's out. I don't want to suffer again like we suffered last year.
Yeah, that was painful.
It was painful. And those were with our two better quarterbacks than what you got as your backup quarterbacks. And I'm sure, a Jeffrey Simmons, and Amani Hooker, or Roger McCreary, these guys that were here last year, again, we got to go through this again. Yeah. Like, that just weighs on you.
Well, just look at the Commanders. They didn't know they were going to be good, and nobody did that. But they had Marcus Mariota as their backup. See? Quality backup, borderline starter for 3-4 games, going to look pretty solid. So you got to be in that kind of situation. And then guess what? When he went down, he came in and held the fort, I think, for a game or maybe a game and a half or whatever it was to, keep everything going. So
Case Keenum for C.J. Stroud. Case Keenum is better than both these guys.
Mm-hmm.
These teams do have, for the most part, quality backup quarterbacks. Even Davis Mills, I would take Davis Mills over both these guys.
Yeah.
But, and that's my thing.
See, he was a starter, and he stayed there with the Texans. He started with
right. To me, it feels like Easton's trying to present this as an either-or scenario where it's not. I think he's trying to drop it into two buckets, and I'm looking at some of these teams like nobody really knew the Texans with C.J. Stroud their rookie year, 2 year, and was going to go 10-7. You look at Jaden Daniels, like you said. No one knew that they were going to go 12-5, like you said, right? Like, even with Carson Wentz, they still got Jalen Hurts and drafted him and made him a backup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is situations that you can point to where having a quality backup sometimes even helps with training, with keeping people calm. Look at Bryce Young. I don't know if Bryce Young had Brandon Allen as his backup quarterback, and Tim Boyle, I don't know if we would have saw the bounce back that we had. But instead, he had Andy Dalton. They invested in Andy Dalton. And I think that helped him. And I don't think that it did anything like, I don't think it was some magic cure-all. I mean, obviously there's, Dave Canales' system getting more comfortable. But I think having that veteran presence, someone to lean on, helps. Mm-hmm. Someone with starting experience, someone that can maybe push you a little bit.
I'm going to give you one in Titans history. Here, we went to Super Bowl. We were 8-8 pretty much the 3 years before that, and there was no sign that we were going to be better than that, maybe even 7-9. First 6 games, McNair missed. Neil O'Donnell held the fort to the point where you say, hey, man, just let him get even better. He looks pretty good. I think he might have went 4-1 or 5-1 or whatever it was, because he was a proven former starting quarterback for the Steelers and the Jets. And then we didn't miss a beat. And guess what? That might have ruined our season, and it may not have ever been a Super Bowl season. We didn't know we were going to be good like that.
Yeah.
That evolved as that season went on. And guess what? He was a vital part of it. It would have never happened.
Hey, let's keep it in Titans. What about when Marcus went down with the nerve injury and they had to put in Blaine Gabbert? It's Blaine Gabbert. Oh, and they lost that play-in game. Code Blue play-in game to the playoffs. They versus the Colts, I think.
It was the Colts?
Yeah. And they lost that game because they didn't have a quality backup.
Yeah.
Then look at what happened with Marcus in 2019, 2-4.
Tannehill.
Let's talk about this real quick. If Ryan Tannehill wasn't on this roster, that would have been a losing season. And he was your backup quarterback. And that would have been a losing season. Marcus was not going to have the season that Ryan Tannehill suddenly had when he came in and had one it put together not only in 2019 and 2020, one of the best statistical quarterback seasons that you've ever seen in NFL history. Look at that tweet up you sent me, Jackson. But we're talking about it. If they didn't have that quality backup that they traded for, they wouldn't have gone into all the way to the AFC Championship game if they didn't have a quality backup. And that's not to say you have to go trade or anything like that.
Right.
But there's now 3 differences, 3 examples. I mean, also, what about when Kerry Collins and Vince Young, they went 13-3 and all that? Like, there's been examples both ways for the Tennessee Titans where not having and having a quality backup changed your entire season. And I'm not saying that if Cam Ward goes down with injury, we need a guy that's going to, take his job like Ryan Tannehill did. But you need a guy that can at least maybe keep you afloat to maybe like 500. Give you, go 2-4, or 2-2. A guy like that, you don't need a guy that can. I mean, it'd be great to have a guy that could take you 4-0, but that's probably not going to happen. But let's talk about that Ryan Tannehill season real quick. Where did that rank on Marcus Mosher's best quarterback rankings?
6th.
And give the people the context in the tweet.
So he said, if I created a quarterback stat to see who had the best season since 1991, these are the top 21 names on the list.
Yeah, so he was number 6.
Are Drew Brees' 2019 season, Tom Brady's 2007 season, Peyton Manning's 2013 season, Aaron Rodgers in 2020, and Peyton Manning in 2004 had the best season according to this list.
And Ryan Tannehill may have changed the whole trajectory of the Tennessee Titans, kept them competitive those 2 years, because if they didn't have a quality backup, if Blaine Gabbert was that backup and went in for Marcus and 2-4, or if Marcus played the whole way, we're talking about a totally different Titans team from here on in. Maybe they would have gotten to the Tom Brady sweepstakes, and maybe that makes you happy that they may have gotten to the Tom Brady sweepstakes. I don't think Tom Brady would have came here, but in the end, to me, I just look at it and I go, I don't think it's overrated and I don't think it's underrated. I think backup quarterback is pretty important, no matter if you're a bad team or a good team.
Yeah, I think he got it wrong on that one. But I get how he could say it. But hey, he got clicks, so
yeah,
and got us talking about it. So
he did.
It
he
worked.
got us talking. It worked
for him. Yeah. So he wins either way, right?
Yeah, he wins either way. And they made little graphics on it. I think he was on 3HL for a full hour in studio.
Really?
I don't know about this. I don't know if they asked him about this, but yeah, I just look at it and I go, man, we have so many examples just here in Tennessee, like you said, and like we just discussed, of backup quarterbacks mean a lot in some cases, and for good or for worse. Like, again, Blaine Gabbert, that Blaine Gabbert play. And in that game where the Tennessee Titans needed to get into the playoffs, and they trot out Blaine Gabbert.
Oh, man, I was so disappointed.
Oh, and they waited for forever to tell everybody too.
I know.
Because I think I was out there tailgating when they made it official.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, it may have happened overnight, but I think it happened that morning. I was like, oh, man, we got to watch Blaine Gabbert come out here. Our playoff hopes pin on Blaine Gabbert. What you got, Jackson?
It was the afternoon.
It was the afternoon of the game,
it was
right?
a night game, and I also was tailgating for that one I saw.
Oh, yeah, it was a night game, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Ugh.
I just knew Blaine was going to get it done.
Did you feel it?
Yeah, just because his name was Blaine.
Yeah. You gotta get, you Blaines need to show some solidarity.
Oh, man, he did not come through.
No, he did.
Man, Blaine. Come on, man.
Oh, my gosh. All right. When we come back, I may have a way for Nashville to get behind the Memphis Grizzlies, and it starts tonight with the NBA draft, maybe tomorrow, but it starts with the NBA draft, and I think I have a way to make everybody happy. We're going to talk about that when we come back. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone.
Don't give up. Did you know Eurofix has a very different business philosophy? They staff all their locations with more staff than the average auto repair shop, just so they can be ready for when your emergency pops up out of nowhere. So have you ever noticed how hard it is to get a right now appointment for a vehicle repair? Where some dealers can be more than 2 weeks out just to get an appointment, but not Eurofix. Eurofix has been offering quality repairs that beat the dealer without the dealer pricing since 1999. Plus a 3-year nationwide warranty and the staff to fix your car right now. So if you're tired of waiting forever to get your car into the shop, then call Eurofix. Owner Aaron Stokes says we will never be too busy for our customers. We're here to take their pain away, and we mean right now. And Eurofix repairs all European cars, and they say yes to speedy repair when others can't or won't. Family owned for 26 years. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can visit them online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com. Lowe's John Blazer.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. I've been trying to mend the fences between Memphis and Nashville. I'm trying to grow the Nashville fan base. I have to say, I have been to a couple Grizzlies watch parties here when they were in the playoffs versus the Spurs. Right over here across, it wasn't Tailgate at the time. I think it was Dan McGinnis at that time. But over here on Music Row, a lot of people did show up for those Memphis Grizzlies games. I don't know if they're still here in Nashville, but I found a way, Blaine, maybe to get some rooting interest from Nashville/Knoxville and the UT fans for the Memphis Grizzlies. You ready?
Yeah, man, you propose this to Jackson, who's a UT guy?
I have not. So this is going to be his first time to hear it as well. So, Jackson, This was inspired by an article over at medium.com written by Chip Williams, who covers the NBA and covers the Grizzlies. He talks about his top 10 guys he likes in the first round, and then talks about 15 second-round guys he likes for picks 48 and 56 that the Memphis Grizzlies own. Draft Chaz Lanier. That does it, right? Wouldn't you guys start rooting for the Grizzlies then? I'm asking the UT fan base, but like Chaz Lanier. Draft.
Would they have a 16th pick?
It would be, with either the 48 or the 56th pick.
Oh, they don't have a first?
They do, but he's not a first-round talent.
Is that true? I don't know. I don't know.
At least according to this.
Disrespect, Zach.
Well, I'm just telling you that what they're saying, what the experts are saying.
You think he's a second-round pick?
Yeah.
See?
You do? Okay.
So, Chaz Lanier, maybe
I'd be
mid
down
some
to watch
fences.
Chaz Lanier in Memphis, but with second-round picks, man, like, it's tough to see them play. Like, Dalton was a first-round top 15 pick, so you actually got to see him play for the Lakers. I believe the Grizzlies took Yves Pons in the second round a few years ago out of Tennessee, and you got to see him play a little bit, but not really much to where it really pushed the needle for a lot of Tennessee fans.
But here's the thing, is that, with Desmond Bane gone, Chaz Lanier being a shooting guard, there could be opportunities right there for him. I'm just saying.
And second-round picks contracts still aren't guaranteed, right?
That I do not know.
Yeah,
I
think that's why so many of them don't, really make it, because I think they have no priority of like keeping them. That's why I'm hoping Chaz goes late in the first round.
A lot of them are two-way deals.
Yeah, So he could. He's a premier shooter. If he went to a really good team, which is a late round guy, and he just can spot up and be a shooter, man. Because, he's not like Dalton Connect who could create his own shot. That's not his game. Chaz is, I want to say he's a poor man's Ray Allen.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Poor man. I mean, maybe that's taking it too far, but I'm saying what he was as a shooter, just spot him up, let the point guard set him up, and he just let it fire, and he stands on the line. Hey, man, if he goes to a team where he can just do that, I think that's
what the Grizzlies need. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, they do have a job.
Let's not stop there. I like Robert.
I think it would be a good combo there. Yeah. Do you think he fits the culture? Watch this, grind city.
I think he kind of does.
I don't know.
What do you think, Jackson?
I don't know. They kept complaining about his defense. At least that's the coach talking.
It would be interesting.
Yeah. So you don't think he fits the grind culture?
He said interesting. Because
he did come from North Florida up to Tennessee. So I mean,
he definitely fits that culture.
Yeah.
But I have a tough time taking any stock into a second round.
Well, I mean, he went.
Well, take the second round pick out of it.
Well, he went to Innsworth.
Yeah.
So he's from. Yes. That.
But so there you go. I mean, that's another one. I forgot about that. So there's another one. So let's do it. I have solved the issue between Nashville, Knoxville, and Memphis. It is Chaz Lanier.
I don't think that's going to do it.
I think it's going to do it.
I don't know.
Let's roll. Let's all believe in possibilities. John Morant setting up Chaz Lanier for a 3-pointer to win the game, maybe to win the NBA Finals. Let's do it.
You buying in? See, and because he tells you what they really think of the UT fans.
So you don't think that anything can be done?
I think something could be done, but I don't think Chaz Lanier moves the needle by himself.
So would they have to trade for Dalton Connect?
Yeah, and get rid of Zach.
Okay, let's do it. Let's trade the others. Trade the other second round pick for Dalton Connect, so that and there you go. Let's just get the whole band back together.
The second round pick for a first round pick? Oh no, man.
They're not gonna play him anyway.
But it doesn't matter. Every time he plays, he's putting up 12, 14, man. He's a good player, man. I don't know what's going on, but they can't stop
Lakers
greatness.
are looking for a big man.
Yeah.
So Zach Edey for Dalton Connect.
Correct the mistakes of last year.
Exactly.
How well has the Edey played? I mean, what does he look like?
Pretty good. I mean, he is
That's
pretty good. He's got a lot to develop it to do. But I mean, for a guy that was thrusted into a starting spot fairly early, he actually, at one point, by his injury started getting to him. At one point, he was actually in the Rookie of the Year discussions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was doing really, really good.
They say he was.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Delta Connect.
See, the Tennessee fans, they hold grudges. They just don't want to let go of Ed beating them in the
He's
tournament.
a rare grudge for me. I normally try not to hold grudges. He's a rare one for me.
But I mean, why?
That justifies that he was just that good then. That's what you...
Oh, yeah. I can't stand him.
You usually let go, but you're not letting go of this one.
Absolutely.
He's like, I guess for most Titans fans, he'd be like Peyton Manning. Most non-UT Titans fans, he'd be like Peyton Manning because, Peyton Manning would always come in and beat you. Or maybe even like you hold a grudge against, because maybe nobody holds a grudge against Peyton
I feel
Manning.
like the Tannehill
Maybe
grudge.
like Ray Lewis. Like, oh yeah, a lot of people have a Tannehill grudge because of the playoff game.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was all Tannehill's fault.
That's what they say. Not anybody else's fault but his.
That grudge took a while for me, but I've since moved on to Zach Edey.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to. I think that, Jackson, you're not being conducive to what I'm trying to accomplish, and I really don't appreciate it.
What do Tennessee fans can do?
He went the moral high ground.
I mean, we're supposed to be a team here, and I don't think that you are really fitting the culture.
He just told you his allegiance was always going to be to Tennessee.
Yeah. And I'm trying to get a Tennessee player here.
No, I would love to see Chaz Lanier. I would watch the preseason for the Grizzlies.
He said the preseason.
Because that's when Chaz Lanier's going to play.
I don't know. Listen, hardly anybody can stay healthy on this Grizzlies team. He may see action sooner rather than later.
Summer League Grizzlies would be electric with Chaz Lanier.
It would be electric. Summer League Grizzlies have actually been pretty fun to watch for like the last 5 or 6 years.
Oh, yeah. I have a buddy who goes every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think I think him opposite of Chaz. I mean, Ja, that would be, he definitely gonna get some open shots. That's for sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's Desmond Bain, right?
Yeah, Bain,
I mean,
right.
that shooting guard left a huge hole. He's 6'5", was 6'5", 215. Chaz Lanier's 6'4". He's got to put on some weight.
Is how many picks? 30 picks? I'm putting money he goes first round.
You going first round?
Yeah, I'm just like, what the heck? If I'm right, I'm like, yay. And if I'm not, like, yeah, that's what they said he was second round pick.
Well, we'll know tonight because for those who may have forgotten, like most people probably did, the NBA draft is tonight.
That's insane. All I know is Connor Flagg's going one. What's the name? Ron Harper's son is going two, is what they're saying from Rutgers.
I will say this.
I don't know if y'all remember
I
Ron
am
Harper
not
from
putting
the
it
Bulls.
past the Mavericks to do something crazy and not take Flag. Or to trade out of the pick and let someone else take Flag.
Trade him to the Lakers for a first-round pick, and...
Was that what LeBron will want?
Yes.
LeBron will be okay with that? Your boy, LeBron?
I don't know. LeBron,
the
LeBron
real,
better watch out. Ownership has sold.
Well,
ownership has changed.
Jackson says that LeBron facilitated that.
I don't know, man.
I did not say that.
That's what you said.
I don't know.
I said it in jest.
In jest. He was joking.
Oh, man. Shoot, he better get that thing together, man.
Yeah.
Real quick.
That's what I'm saying.
Just like the GM and the head coach with the Colts with the daughters now running things.
And they apparently have a clear delineation of power because the one that there's been, I can't remember her name, but the one that's the really dark-haired one, she has been on the sidelines for the last couple of years.
Yeah. They said she had on headsets and everything. Like she.
Now the other ones are just kind of coming in. I don't know what their previous roles were, but that is an interesting little interesting family dynamic right there. Yeah, and we'll see. That could be like a reality show.
That could be the end of Ballard.
It could be like Succession on HBO.
If that's what, finally somebody gets rid of Chris Ballard.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know how much the owner was part of, the quarterback situation, too. Oh. We don't know that. And that's the part that makes Ballard look bad because he survived all of it. And you go, well, man, is he making all decisions or...
Well, I don't know if you saw this after his passing, all these articles came out. And one of the articles that was written was like he was the rare owner that wouldn't get involved in anything. And I'm like, are we talking about the guy that fired the coach then hired Jeff Saturday? He wouldn't get involved in anything. He doesn't just let people do.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a lot of owners that do that.
Yeah. I forgot Jeff Saturday coached the Colts.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Was insane, right?
That was one of the most insane moments.
On TV. Did he come back?
I don't know. Yeah, he hasn't been on TV, has he? Oh, he probably is embarrassed. Don't you think?
I wouldn't be embarrassed. I'd be like, hey, man, I'm going right back to hey, it didn't hurt to try.
Yeah.
Well, he was asked, so.
There's a comment in the chat that we're going to get to, and I'm going to ask Jackson about it when we come back. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
It is 2:01. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Jackson Williams in the NBA. The NBA draft starts tonight as some of the top amateur stars from across the globe, including Duke forward Cooper Flagg and Tennessee guard Chaz Lanier, will find out their NBA futures today and tomorrow. Draft starts tonight at 7 p.m. In college basketball news, the NCAA announced earlier today that the regular season will expand to a 32-game limit. The previous limit was 31 games. This change will begin in the 26 to 2027 season. In the MLB, VFL Christian Moore accounted for all three of the Los Angeles Angels runs in their 3-2 win in extra innings over the Boston Red Sox with a solo home run in the 8th and this walk-off winner in extras.
And he hits an hard out to right center field, pretty deep. Rafael is back. It's over his head. It's off the wall. It might be a home run. Moore's racing on his way to third. The game is tied at least as Moore has a triple, and I think he's won it. Saving it to the Red Sox. It's a home run.
For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. It's a winning Wednesday with 104.5 The Zone and the Nashville Sounds. Be caller number 5 to win 2 tickets to see the Sounds host Memphis next Wednesday, July 2nd at First Horizon Park.
A rivalry.
The biggest rivalry in all of baseball. The Memphis Redbirds versus the Nashville Sounds. Win 2 tickets to that game. The first 1,000 kids, by the way, 12 and under, will get batting gloves presented by First Horizon. All Sounds fans win on Wednesdays, and if the Sounds win the game, fans get to round the bases of First Horizon Park. Oh. Holy crap, you're getting a lot out of this if you win. Wednesdays this summer are all about winning. Nashville Sounds are ready to adorn all of their fans with prizes at First Horizon Park. Get ready for a giveaway item every Wednesday all season long.
So what call are you taking?
Caller number 5.
You get 5 all the time.
Okay, so do you want me to do caller number 3?
No, just not 5.
Caller number 3.
Just not 5.
Caller number 3. 615-737-1045 is the number. Caller number 3 will get the tickets.
Call right now.
We're waiting. We need one more. All right. Also, bring the whole crew out to First Horizon Park for summer of fun from Fireworks Fridays to can't-miss theme nights and giveaways. There's something for everyone. Don't just watch baseball. Experience it with Nashville Sounds. Grab your tickets now at NashvilleSounds.com. Hello. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, you're caller number 3.
If you're hearing the sound of my voice,
that's you.
Number 3.
Oh,
that is you.
Oh, hey, what's your name? What's your name?
Mike.
Mike?
Yep.
Turn the radio down in the background if you don't mind. Mike, where are you calling from? Bellevue. So who are you taking to the game with you?
Probably my nephew.
All right. Now listen, if he's under 12, he gets free batting gloves. So make sure that you get those batting gloves. And make sure you stay till after the game if they win. Now, are you going to be rooting for Memphis or are you going to be rooting for Nashville?
Nashville.
All right. Just making sure. I'm going to put you on hold. We appreciate it, Mike. We're going to put you on hold. Jackson's going to get your information. There you go.
Yeah, caller number 3.
The caller number 3.
Good job.
Look at that. I also got a little trivia question because I know I was going to ask Jackson a question, but he's got to handle this. We didn't think about that logistically when we were talking about this. So I got a trivia question for you.
Oh, it's for me?
Maybe for the listeners, too.
Oh, and probably for the listeners because I definitely don't know. Already.
So throughout his college career, Cam Ward had 2,329 pass attempts in college. That's second most in NCAA history. Do you, by chance, I need to know the player and the school that they were from that had 2,436 pass attempts and is number 1 all time.
Oh, so you said attempts and not yardage?
Yeah, attempts.
Oh, attempts, man. That's a tough one there. I have no idea. I am going off the cuff, off of years. So can you give me parameters of their era? Does it go back a couple years? I mean, like 20 years?
It's back in the, it's not black and white days. It's kind of high definition days.
Only reason why I'm going with this is because of their style of offense, and I'm just guessing attempts. Andre Ware, run and shoot, Houston Cougars.
Do you have a guess, Jackson? Number 1 in pass attempts.
I was on the phone with Mike, did not hear your question.
So Cam Ward had 2,329 pass attempts in college. That's the second most in college history. Attempts. Who had the most attempts with 2,436 in college history?
You said...
He said Andre Ware.
You said high definition era, though.
It's about the start of it.
Can you give me a conference?
No.
I'm going to go Ryan Mallett.
I'm not going to tell you guys yet. Let's open up the phone line and see if we can get some discussion.
Good one.
And maybe we'll circle back to it.
I know I lost.
Yeah, neither of you guys
Joe
got
Burrow.
it right. Neither of you guys got right.
2 guesses.
So we'll get your calls in as we go along.
Oh, they hung up. Was Joe Burrow the answer?
No, Joe Burrow's not the answer. So we've eliminated 3 quarterbacks so far.
Oh, so you're telling us now?
You guys were wrong. You guys are wrong. Okay, Jackson. But here's my real question for you.
Them right.
You are, out of everyone, I've been on this earth for 39 years. Out of every person I've met, you are the biggest LeBron James fan I have ever met. So that's a good thing.
That's probably pretty insane. You've known a lot of people.
I've met several people. Now, you got to remember, I grew up in the Michael Jordan era. Most people took a while for them to kind of warm up to LeBron James. It wasn't like, oh, we all love LeBron James. And LeBron James had the decision. That kind of became a little villain storyline for him and all that kind of stuff. But so my question then becomes, with this whole situation, is that this is brought up in the chat by Jalen H. Jalen H. in the F&M Bank chat on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook Live. And he says that he is a long time Lakers fan. But he says it's time to move on from LeBron James. Where do you stand on that?
Okay, so I pulled his stats up. He averaged 25 points a game, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. That is almost a triple-double at the age of 40. You will have to move on from him eventually because he's eventually going to retire. But he is the type of player that you just let him play. If he is still doing this at 40 years old, why move on? I think they should make Luka the building block of the franchise at this point, because Luka's a young, up and coming MVP level player. But moving on from LeBron, I don't think is a decision that the Lakers would make.
What do you think, Blaine? I mean, do you think it's just ride it out with LeBron, new ownership group? You got Luka. Why try to disrupt something with 2 different players? Or do you think it's time to move on for the Lakers try to move on from LeBron?
Well,
or LeBron to move on from them, to be honest with you.
It's really an interesting question because he's box office, and that's what the Lake Show is always all about. Mm-hmm. And so he brings tickets, he brings superstars, actors, everybody from, the whole sports world to a general fan. So that's the hard part. But personally, I thought they should have got rid of him probably last year. I really do. I think they should try to get as much as they can, because I don't think the focal point of what they try to do offensively still runs through him. And to me, now he should be the third option, not the second, maybe the second sometimes. But if you're trying to really help him win a championship, somebody needs to have a hard conversation. Stats aren't everything. Everything is running through him, and that's not working. So you need to move on to something else. This is 3 years in a row now. I don't care what your stats are. You can't let the point guard be the point guard. Like, he's got to flow everything through LeBron. Guess where I want LeBron? I want him in the post and then be a for real stretch 4, a stretch 4. Yeah, that's where I want him. And at times he could play center. If how I would be looking at him. If I told him that, he would look at me like, no way, no how. Because I don't want him to have the ball as much as he does in his hand. Because I think it's disruptive and the guys respect him in the league. They all probably grew up, idolizing him. And now they're playing with him and they're, just letting him do his thing. And instead of saying what's best for the team, even LeBron should be honest with himself. The really great athletes can sit down with themselves and say, hey, 25, 7, and 7 ain't cutting it even at 40 for the way this league is set up and this team.
Yeah.
So what do I need to do to better? I didn't say play better. Maybe I need to shoot less, not ball hog the ball as much, maybe in critical situations, maybe, or at end of games or when needed. Because if I want longevity in him, if he really wants to try to really compare to the MJ with the titles, he's got to sacrifice something to get there. And it's not working the way they're doing it. It hadn't worked the last 3 years. They've gotten bounced in the first round or not even made the playoffs.
Do you think? Oh, he just took the phone. It's fine. I also don't like the aspect of the micromanagement that he, at least from the outside looking in, gives off as far as firing coaches.
Well, we tried to say he was
players.
hands off with some of the
but I don't
situation.
believe it.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, so like that to me, right there is kind of where I'm at. And now
But the players have a lot of clout, now, especially superstar players. We've even seen Durant go to all these other teams, and so they have a lot of say-so, to be honest. And not to say that they'll deserve it, but when everything doesn't work right, then we gave you a couple times, and now it still hasn't worked. I think now you start saying, we're going to do it our way now.
Jackson, Jalen kind of expanded on his point. I want to get your thoughts on this. He says because they should be bringing in younger talent for the future, it feels like LeBron has delayed that. Do you agree?
The Lakers have young talent. Austin Reeves is a young talent. Dalton Connect, a young talent. Luka, a young talent. I'm also interested to see how this LeBron-Luka dynamic works when they've had a full offseason. Because this was obviously done in the middle of the season. There's not a ton of, I think a lot of the LeBron as the primary ball handler, I don't think that happens this season because they can work on different ways to utilize both players in the offseason rather than, hey, here's this superstar point guard that, we traded for in February. Work on it, make a playoff push, and see what you can do this year. But I think this is the year where you really see it come together more.
There you go. We'll talk more. We'll get to your trivia questions as well. We got Charlie, Bobby, Tommy who think they have the right answer to my trivia question. I'll ask it again at the top of the next segment. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Look, I've been putting in the work. When I say putting in the work, I'm talking about, man, I've been working out, lifting 5 days a week, dialed in on my nutrition, and still got some stubborn fat around the midi section, right? That core area. I still can't get the definition I want. That's why I went to Edge Peptide Therapy for M-Sculpt Neo. It builds muscle and burns fat at the same time. 30 minutes, no downtime. M-Sculpt Neo is the most advanced body sculpting technology available, merging fat reduction with muscle building in one effortless session. No surgery, no downtime, just results that speak for themselves. M-Sculpt Neo is your secret weapon, building muscle and burning fat faster than the traditional workouts alone. I'm proof of it. It's like doing 10,000 sit-ups in 30 minutes without breaking a sweat. So book in June and you'll get 2 free sessions. And all you have to do is call Edge Peptide Therapy at 615-724-1878. Let's get you over the hump. And all you have to do is just call Edge, 615-724-1878.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. Cam Ward had 2,329 pass attempts in college. That's second most in college history. I've asked the crew who had the most with 2,436. I did get a text answer to me. We were speaking of collusion earlier, and my friend Robert has texted in. He's the commissioner of a long-time fantasy football league I've been a part of, and his wife has won multiple times. I feel like there's a little collusion between him and his wife, Natalie. Just want to throw that out there because I know they're listening on it right now. But he said his gut guess is Cliff Kingsbury, but that is not true either. So let's go to the phones. Let's go to Charlie. Charlie, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Kyler Murray.
Okay, I said 2, but I'm going to narrow it down, and I'm going Timmy Chang.
You nailed it. Timmy Chang at Hawaii.
Hawaii. I saw somebody on the
From
chat. had that.
2000 to 2004. You nailed it.
But see,
Yeah,
based
I
off
knew
of
it was either
stats,
him or Colt Brennan from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Jim Jones used to sling it all over the yard.
My first guess when someone told me this was Will Rogers, and my second guess was going to be Colt Brennan, but they went ahead and spoiled who it was. But Timmy Chang at Hawaii from 2000 2004.
Yeah.
Good job, Charlie. Got right on the first one.
Based
How
off
about
his stats, he should have been in the first round pick.
Should have been. Those Hawaii quarterbacks never could make it. You know what?
What was the one we?
Cole McDonald.
Oh, that's the one we had. Okay,
We got robbed of a Cole McDonald preseason game because he would have lit it up. He would have slung it all over the yard, and that would have at least been fun for one preseason game.
You would have. You really believe that?
Yeah, I think he would have. He may have ended in a lot of interceptions.
You wasn't here watching practice.
Is he that bad? I was about to say he may have ended in a lot of interceptions, but at least it would have been exciting.
I think he's one of the few guys. I said, we drafted him.
Yeah. Oh, I was very surprised that they
he
even
was a great
drafted him.
college player, but that just show it was like, oh.
Well, it was like when they drafted Luke Falk, and I was
I
like,
think they literally cut him like in a week or something. He wasn't here. It was like, I was like,
it was
I
like
don't know.
no time at all.
I never said that they drafted him, but I was sitting here going, oh my, I don't know if he's gonna cut it. He may make the practice squad.
Well, remember they only had 4 draft picks in that in the 2018 NFL draft, right? Is that the same draft I'm thinking of?
I don't remember what draft it was, but I was like, it was pretty clear right off the bat.
But no, what I was going to say is that they had 4 draft picks and they used one of them on Luke Falk. Remember that? They drafted Rashaan Evans, Harold Landry,
Right.
Dane Cruikshank, and Luke Falk. I get you're in the 6th round, but I mean that's the quarterback
Luke
you were in a draft.
Did he go to Washington State? Where did he go?
He was, Washington State.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And Cole McDonald was, I believe, the next year, he was.
He was 2020.
Yeah, I was about to say 2020.
He wasn't that long. Oh, man, he was, oh, my. That was, somebody made a boo-boo.
Yeah.
But they tried to fix that real quick.
They waived him, and he ended up being released because nobody claimed him. But they waived him on August 19th, 2020. So shortly,
we didn't even make preseason.
And this was COVID camp.
That's what I said. I was like, this does not look good.
Yeah. Backup quarterbacks.
No, he wasn't no backup quarterback.
That's what I'm just saying, though.
I don't even know if he would. I don't know, man. I'm not going to meet.
Did he play anywhere else?
No. He did end up getting signed by Arizona at some point. Cole McDonald did. Let's pick that up. Okay, so he was released on August 19, 2020. He had a couple of tryouts on the 23rd and the 30th of August. And I guess he signed at some point with the Arizona Cardinals in 2021, but then they waived him.
He didn't go to Canada or anything?
Did he wave back?
I don't think so. I don't
he
know
didn't
if he
wave
waved back. We'll see. We're seeing
he was in a rush.
What is Cole McDonald doing now? Tell me, Google. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing now. It's kind of crazy, though. Kind of crazy.
He didn't have the good. Sorry.
Let's go to Tommy.
That one there was clear. If you came to practice, it was.
What'd you say, Jackson?
He played in the spring league.
Did he?
Yes. I found his highlights.
There you go. Let's go to Tommy, who wants to talk about the L.A. Lakers. Tommy, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey guys, I'm a Tennessee ball and I'm biased about Dalton Connect, but he has been totally screwed by the Lakers.
Yep.
Where was he in the playoffs? They have one true shooter, and that's Luka. And I'm watching the games, and Dalton Connect sitting on the bench watching these people try to shoot three-pointers, and he's sitting on the bench the whole playoffs. If I was him, I would want to get so far away from there. And if I was the Memphis Grizzlies, I would be trying everything to get him to Memphis. Mm-hmm. It must be a LeBron thing because they say how great the new coach is. Well, I didn't think he was great at all when he had Dalton Connect sitting on the bench. Yeah. I'll hang up and listen. Thanks.
Yeah. We must not forget also that trade that got nixed. He was supposed to go to Charlotte,
He
right?
was in Charlotte.
And then that guy flunked his physical.
Yeah.
It was halfway through the season.
See, the Lakers don't even want him. They don't even appreciate him.
Well,
And then he didn't even dress for that. Yeah, he needs to go to the Grizz.
Yeah,
So-
come to the Grizzlies where you'll be appreciated,
He
not
kept-
some crappy LA team. Go ahead.
He kept
Jackson.
playing, and then at some point late in the season, he dropped I want to say he dropped 20 points our last game of the season. But a lot of what Dalton Connect does is freelancing, and the Lakers coach has a very rigid system that he likes his players to follow. And you could see him kind of having a Brian Callahan, Will Levis moment with Dalton Connect where JJ Redick just throws his hands up and is, what the bleep are you doing kind of thing. And then he didn't play in the playoffs.
Interesting. So he is your all's Will Levis over at LA is what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying that, but I am saying that
sure?
He is more of a freelancer.
Will Levis is a freelancer?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know what you call it. What do you call it?
For
disaster? I don't know what you call it from the, I would say that, John Morant, he likes to play a little bit, back, street ball a little bit. You get Dalton Connect with them, Chaz Lanier, Zach Edey. Let's just get this whole group together. And let's go win an NBA Finals and get the whole state of Tennessee behind us. What do you say?
I don't know about that one. I sure like it, though. I'm a big Connect guys. I want to see him have success.
So speaking of Cole McDonald, to go back to him just real quick, he did try the CFL. Mm-hmm. He went in September 13th, 2021. He dressed as a backup for the last regular season game with the Argonauts as they were resting starters for the playoffs. He completed 4 out of 8 passes for 45 yards and 1 interception. He was released in May 25th, 2022. On November 15th, 2022, he was assigned to the Houston Roughnecks of the XFL, and he was released December 15th, 2023. No stats there. And then he made his way back up to Canada for the Edmonton Elks, May 28th, 2024. McDonald signed with the Edmonton Elks of the CFL. He was released on June 2nd. And now he's in a CrossFit, according to his Instagram. So there you go. That's what happened to Cole. The burning question. That's what happened with Cole McDonald. Let's go to Darren, who wants to talk about Will Levis. Darren, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Hitman?
You got it.
My take on Will Levis, from the coaching standpoint, if the performances he put up, as terrible as they are, why would you give him confidence as a backup? Like, if you're going to come out and, pretty much, denounce the guy, I wouldn't want him as my backup either. It's like saying you're not good enough to start, but we'll let you get on the field if our starter gets hurt. He seems like a liability. Why wouldn't they just cut ties with him? Is it an obligation kind of first pick reputation thing, or like I'll let y'all talk about that. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Darren. Well, I would say the most backups fall under the category of you can't start for us, for a full 17 games, but you can come in and win us a few games. That's why they're backups. My thing is that I'm not completely writing off the notion, the idea that Will Levis, with his first time back-to-back years in the same system, dating back to his time at Kentucky too, that maybe he improves. I'm not completely writing that off yet. And just because you're not good enough to maybe start a 17-game season doesn't mean that you're not good enough to start games in relief.
Mm-hmm. Well, in Kentucky, the second year he was worse, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah, he was definitely worse. and that was in a different system.
Well, first and foremost, let's just start, caller, with their options. Who is better than Will Levis after Cam Ward? And if you're about winning, then you want to keep your best options that are available. That's what the NFL is all about. It's all about winning. I mean, they've got criminals out there to people who are not as good at their positions and then become backups, and then all of a sudden they revive their career. Ryan Fitzpatrick. There's different players who've done it all over the place. So I think that's where they are. As long as he's a good soldier, not a bad locker room guy, which I don't think he would be, because that could hurt him really, even if he wants to eventually be a starter, whether it's here or somewhere else. So, he's got a lot of motive. So I think that's what they're considering here, probably still trying to go through that process. And I think I would be open-minded because I wouldn't want to give up collateral that wasn't valuable enough for what he brings to the table. If they can't at least get a fifth rounder, I don't know if I'm giving up a 6 or 7. It'll be really, really tough for me to pill to swallow drafting him with the second round pick. And he's capable of being a starter in spot play, at least as of right now, and do a good job. So, I think he's the best option. So,
but
that wouldn't surprise me if they traded him.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I say. He's the best option they got. I mean, you want to win. I mean, so if Cam's down, or let's just say he has a hammy or something, whatever it may be, he's out temporarily in a half of a game, and you're in the game, and it's the third game of the season. You're already 2-1, and you want to keep this momentum going, and then you put in Brandon Allen, then the air just deflates.
I mean, that's the thing. I know that Will Levis was not good last year. And he had his moments where he was good.
Up and down for sure.
Up and down. I mean, you can't deny it.
Right.
But we have seen enough of Brandon Allen to know that he is worse than Will Levis. And I know that's unfathomable for fans to comprehend because recency bias comes into play. And you may not be familiar with watching a lot of Brandon Allen tape or Brandon Allen games. I wouldn't blame you. And I understand that what Will Levis did last year in a few games was unacceptable. But I do remember there was a time at the Atlanta game, right? The Atlanta Falcons game. He came in relief of Ryan Tannehill at the time. Started a game. That's his first game, and he went crazy. He has the potential as a backup quarterback to come in and win you a game because he has the arm talent. Now he's got his second year inside the same system with a better offensive line. Mm-hmm. Maybe you see him make better decisions because he's not under pressure a lot and he has a cleaner pocket. I'm not saying he's going to turn into Geno Smith, who turned into a backup and then now has become one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm not saying that he's even going to be a guy that could win you 5-0. But I am betting money that I have a better chance at winning a game with Will Levis than I do with Brandon Allen. Right. That's just where I'm
And we also don't know how much he will improve too. Right. You keep talking about his second year in the system, but also him just improving, let's just say in his headspace, in his decision making at times. And I think he just wanted to win and he let it overtake him, and he just was trying to force it. And you can't force it in the NFL. They will take advantage of it. You just got to take what the defense gives you and then take your shots on the one-on-one shots. And if they get an interception that way, cool. But don't force something that they're not giving to you. He had to learn his lesson. I mean, sometimes you got to learn the hard way, and hopefully he learns and gets better. And hopefully he'll help the Titans. I mean, Cam Ward's going to be the starter, but at some point he's going to have to help the Titans.
And listen, he may just end up being Nathan Peterman. Right? A backup you really don't want playing. They ends up being a third quarterback. But I have said this since he got drafted. I don't ever think he's never going to not succeed. But it's going to be the talent and going to be the decision making. It's not going to be his want to, his desire, his work ethic. He's been working with Jordan Palmer. Is Jordan Palmer a miracle worker? I don't know. But again, we're talking about the backup quarterback. And there's a different discussion to be had in a different conversation when you're talking about a backup quarterback versus a 18-game starter. Mm-hmm. Do I want Will Levis starting in 18 games for the Tennessee Titans? Heck no. 2 or 3 games. If Cam Ward has a hamstring or has a minor injury and you'd rather kind of be cautious with them just in case it's something that's easily re-aggravated, I would take my chances with Will Levis. I would not take my chances with Will Levis over other backup quarterback options on other teams.
Right.
But I would over on this team with how it's set up right now.
I'm going to give you this scenario since we're talking about Will Levis, guys. And that is
The Dalton Connect of football, from what Jackson said.
wonder Will Levis looks better than Cam Ward in preseason.
And it's possible, right? You see backup quarterbacks perform all the time like that.
What do you do?
Well, let me ask you a question.
And when I say, I'm just saying he's better. It's clear he's better.
So let me ask you this. Is this a Malik Willis situation? Because I think Malik Willis looked better. Well, I guess Will Levis, we didn't see a lot of Will Levis in the preseason. Okay, is it a situation where he looks better against third stringers, or is he getting first team reps and he looks better? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say equal amount of time with the first teams. Everything's even. And he just looks like, he's the better player as of this date.
I would still roll with Cam Ward because probably by then the narrative, the way that practices have gone, you kind of already committed yourself to Cam Ward. But I wouldn't, to be honest with you, Blaine, I'm with you. It would have to be a third round pick for me to get off Will Levis in this scenario.
Because
if he looked good.
Jackson, you don't have an opinion? No, you weren't listening.
I'm sorry, Ross was talking to me. What's up?
Oh, that dang Ross back there.
No.
The Hardee's guy.
He was sitting there looking at his phone the whole time. I said, we are going to get a pick. I saw you. So, here's why I bring that up. Because what the caller just made me think about is he was like, well, cut him or get rid of him or trade him. Do you then, hence, get in a situation early on that now you have a quarterback controversy? Now, I know everybody feels like that's non-existing because you got to play the first pick of the draft. You got to do all these things, right? But if he wasn't the first pick back, I think a lot of people would be a little hesitant if that scenario came out to that. Let's say if he was the 30th pick of the draft. Now, see, would everybody, oh, no, Cam Ward's our guy. Well, guess what? Now you'll start, questioning yourself. So what most athletes do is they believe what they see. They don't care about where somebody's picked. They look and say, hey, man, that dude is better than that dude. That dude is better than that guy. Nobody's looking at where he got picked because guess what? They want to win. So does that buy him time, and will that make it a quarterback controversy if he's just better than him? And that could happen.
Yeah, it could happen. I wouldn't bet on it, just to be clear.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't bet on it, but it could happen. I was just trying to think of a scenario where this guy's saying, you got to get rid of him.
Yeah, I don't think there's a you got to get rid of him scenario outside of a third-round pick. Right, trade him. You got to trade him.
You got to trade him.
I don't think that they should be in a rush to trade him, to be honest with you.
Well, you're trying to build up,
Yeah, I mean,
a resume.
But what I'm just saying is, like, all these people are like, well, I would trade him for a 7th-round pick.
Oh,
no. I mean, it needs to be for something pretty good. I mean, what did Joe Milton just go for, right? I mean, like, he went for fourth round pick, and I think so, 4th or 3rd.
Man.
Like,
wow.
Okay, so you should be wanting that, and you know what I'm saying? You should be wanting that if you're a Tennessee Titans fan.
Yes.
And you should be wanting that if you're the Tennessee Titans too. And I don't think his what?
A 5th.
It was a 5th. That's all they got for him was a 5th?
A 5th for Milton and a 7th.
A 5th.
I thought it was higher than
I thought
that.
they swapped 7, or picks, but But, I mean, he was a 7th-round pick, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's still 2 spots higher.
Man.
And people are wanting to give up 5 spots lower, 5 rounds lower to the 7th round just because they don't like Will Levis at this point.
I think a 5th for Will Levis you take.
I don't know if in this
That'd be
scenario,
my latest,
in this scenario, if he looked better than Cam Ward, I wouldn't. I would not take a 5th. I would have to take, you'd have to give me a 3rd for it because obviously he has progressed and made a jump. And that should be enticing to other teams, by the way, that he has looked better in a second year in a system and all that kind of stuff, because there is a lot of raw talent, right? So if he's getting better, kind of like Malik Willis, if he's getting better, teams should want him. and he is a second round pick with probably a little bit more leeway because, yes, he's had some disasters, but Malik Willis kind of, in some of the regular season games he had, he looked like he was flat out lost until this last season. And so, like, Cam Ward's made some bad plays, but he has looked at times like a baseline level average quarterback. And that isn't coming from a Levis hater. Like, I mean, I'm just being, I can be down
Objective.
on Levis, but be objective with what you saw on the field.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what's that the fan base is having a hard time in this discussion of being objective and not allowing for a player to get better.
Yeah, that's
Geno
what I've been
Smith
saying.
got better, and that's all anybody wanted to talk about a couple of years ago was like, yeah, or this past year was like, well, what if Will Levis or what if Mason Rudolph is the next Geno Smith, or what if Will Levis turns into the next Geno Smith after you let him leave? Well, now that narrative has kind of died, and I'm thinking, guys, I'm just saying that he can get better. And I think that with his work ethic and his motivation, his desire to at least make money. I mean, I know he wants to make some money, but like he went out of his way to hook up with Jordan Palmer. This guy wants to be good in the NFL. That's a lot different than a player that is a bad player that doesn't want to take these extra steps on his own. That's just kind of where I'm at.
Yeah,
I guess.
I don't know. Something about Will Levis, to me, it's going. I think he's going to get better, but he's not going to get the opportunity if Ward doesn't get injured or something, because he's getting a better offensive line, better weapons, younger weapons. So the picture is better for Ward. Well, let's see if the picture was better for Levis, and now second year in the system, and now he's got his head space in the right space as a quarterback.
Yeah.
And then who's the better player?
And to be honest, again, I think some people get a little confused. We're talking about a backup quarterback. And now you have presented and I never really got around to answering your question about the quarterback controversy and if he looks good and all that. I never really got around to it. So I want to do that when we come. Yeah, I'll do that when we come back. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone. Powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. I don't know why Jackson's pretending he doesn't have a big old head. We were talking about his head and how someone made stretch. Your head is massive. I have a huge head too. Hats look weird, but you have a big head. That I bet we're going to measure circumferences, and I bet you have the biggest
hat you wear, like with a fitted hat.
Oh man, I like large, extra large, probably.
No, like the number, like the New Era number.
I don't wear. I'm not a big hat guy, so I don't know. I didn't know there was a new number.
I don't know. What's that?
That's an average. That's about average.
Yeah, I think that's what I am.
What do you got?
7th and 8th.
Yeah, I'm probably way bigger than that.
I'm an 8.
You're an 8?
Yeah.
Is that because you let it like squeeze your head?
No. That's the biggest hat.
Oh, that's the biggest hat that they got is an 8?
It's comfy.
There you go. So you have a big head. So quit trying to pretend you don't.
I don't think I have a big head.
You were trying to gaslight us.
I think they make hats too small.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Bobby who wants to talk about Will Levis. Bobby, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Now, I have a scenario possibility. What do you do with Will Levis if Shedeur Sanders gets waived? You pick him up and get rid of Levis, or what? I'll hang up and listen.
Interesting enough from Bobby, Derek Carter on the Twitter version of the YouTube chat, the F&M Bank Channel, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook Live, he asked the same thing. What happens if Shedeur gets cut? Could he be the backup? Now, he says he's joking, but Bobby obviously was serious. It's a complicated question because I obviously really think that Shedeur is talented. I really do like what Shedeur could possibly be in the NFL. I don't know about bringing him back into this with Cam Ward. I don't know how that all works. I know they're buddies and all this kind of stuff and have a good working training relationship at the very least. But I mean, then you got a rookie backing up a rookie, and I think that's where my hang-up is a rookie backing up a rookie.
A rookie that couldn't beat out Kenny Pickett.
Or maybe did beat out Kenny Pickett, but they just don't like the rookie for whatever reason. Who knows?
Yeah, I think everything on the surface is not always the same. Just because somebody got cut doesn't mean they weren't better than the player.
Yeah.
Let's get that straight. Now, I'm not just saying Shedeur. I'm just saying veteran to veteran, veteran to rookie. Sometimes there's money involved. Sometimes there's personality involved. I mean, there's a lot of things, chemistry in the locker room that it values just as much as anything else about your talent. So that's not always the case. And in this case, that's why I say that is I think he's a really good, talented player, and he was never going to get a fair shot there anyway. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play this all out because they're saying Pickett is going to win the job there. And I don't know what that means for Flacco.
Really?
That's what I'm hearing.
Wow.
And that was a shocker to me, too, as well. But we don't know the dynamics of how they're using their quarterbacks. I don't know who's doing what. You see one thing about, Dylan Gabriel looks great, and the next day, Shedeur looked great, and then, he didn't get any reps. Who got reps with, all this. So I don't know what to believe. But at this point in time, I definitely would not probably pick him up, depending on if I have all the pieces in a place that are there on the team now. He's definitely going to be better than the third stringer.
Yeah.
But I just don't – I don't think the organization was going to take him just because of all the things surrounding Shedeur Sanders from the jump. That just not a possibility. There's a part inside of me that I look at it as business as well, and it's marketing. He has the number 1 or number 2 jersey sales. So to me, that then lights up my checkbook with attendance. That means if people like his jerseys, then there's also a player side to this. And – how much can you stand with them being on the sideline and not playing and not being an issue and fans pushing to play them, putting that kind of pressure. So there's a lot of dynamics here that I've brought up before that I would definitely consider drafting him. But with the way that it's set up now, if he got released, I don't know if that'd be a good fit with being a young quarterback backing up another young quarterback.
Yeah. That's kind of where I draw the line is like.
But if you get him for free, for pennies on a dollar, sometimes it's just like He's better than
when is the last?
Allen.
I'm trying to think of the last time. So I know I guess it would be Kirk Cousins and RG3, right? Was the last time a rookie backed up a rookie?
True.
And that would have been the last time.
That'd be very similar. First round pick.
Fifth
and fourth round pick.
Yeah, fifth round pick. Yeah,
Fifth round pick.
Was Kirk?
Was he fourth or fifth? I don't remember.
know. But just saying. I mean, it has happened, I guess, but it's just very few and far between.
But if you're looking future down the road, you say, okay, Allen won't be here, or you say Allen, he's better than Allen right now, and you go say Levis won't be here next year. So then Cam Ward and Shador will be 1-2.
Yeah.
And if you're a developing team, building from the foundation up, one of you wrong and you hit on the other one.
And to be clear, I'm talking rookie, not rookie 3-year vet. Because Jalen says have a problem with the young quarterback backing up another, but wants to keep Levis. Well, there's a distinct difference between
played in games and
the NFL games and all this kind of stuff. Like there's a distinct difference.
They're still young, but at the same time, he's got some starts under his belt.
Okay, so Brock Purdy and Trey Lance would have been the last time, but wasn't that Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, and Jimmy G? If I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong in misremembering that. And listen, again, we're talking about backup quarterbacks. Robert asks, I wonder if we would be having this.
The difference, though, is both of them were drafted by the actual team.
You're right, that too.
That makes a difference.
He goes, I wonder if we'd be having this conversation of is Arch Manning on this team given the exact same progress that Cam has displayed thus far. I don't really know where that's coming from because we're talking about backup quarterbacks. We're not talking about starters or anything. We're talking about backup quarterbacks. I don't know what Arch Manning has with this conversation. But to answer your question, the very big what if that we really wouldn't bet any money on actually happening if Will Levis looked distinctly better than Cam Ward, and do you think it would have to be and I guess I should clarify, we're talking training camp and preseason that he looks distinctly better?
Yes.
All around, okay. If he looks distinctly better than Cam Ward, and let's say Cam Ward looked below average, not even average, just below average, I would entertain the idea of starting off with Will Levis because I've seen what thrusting a quarterback into a starting role that doesn't look like they're ready does. Look at Anthony Richardson in your own division. Look over at Bryce Young as a couple of years ago and all that kind of stuff. I don't think it would, don't think this is possible, and I wouldn't bet that he would even last, but I do think that you would have to entertain the idea in the scenario that Will Levis looks distinctly better and improved, and Cam Ward looks below average.
Now, what do you think the Titans would do if that happened?
I think they're going Cam Ward.
No. If that scenario happened,
I think they're still going Cam Ward.
No, I think they are going Cam Ward, but they trade Will Levis.
Oh, well,
that's what would happen.
That would probably be too. There you go. All right, that will do it for us. I'm off the next 2 days. Got a wedding to attend.
Oh,
going up to Michigan. Other than that, Lucas will be filling in for the next 2 days. Blaine will be here. We got Jackson as well. 3HL's up next has been covered too with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. And in the meantime,
and in between time,
peace.